Welcome back. This is K24 This Morning, Money and Finance. It is. We're talking about digital lending, and I'm actually with the chairman of DLAC, that is Kevin Motiso, and the GM Tala East Africa, Ivan. But before we get to them, let's look at what you're saying on WhatsApp. Where are the CIS offices located for customers to report privacy infringement and unorthodox ways of debt recovery? All right, we'll find out shortly. Hi Mbuvi, nasomanga after nishachukua na kumalizana na stress. But most of the times I follow friends' choice. Kama aliwahi chukua huko, hata mimi nachukua. This is Peter Yas from Kahawa West. Thank you, Peter. Tala Talk, I borrowed from Tala and I'm relieved to have repaid and stopped borrowing. The loan can easily trap you, especially because of high interest rates, okay? Who else? I'm Jafet Andrew from Marereni. I am a Form 3 student. To me, I have never used those programs. I will try my best to try using it. If I may ask a question, can a student like me apply this loan? To me, this loan will be of help as I will be able to pay my school fees. Okay. Then we also have Makori Justin saying, reading terms is necessary before borrowing money. Reason being, this will reduce overpayment, and also it will enable you to know the interest needed to avoid loss of your property in case if it becomes hard to repay back in time. From Ogembo in Kisii County. All right. There's a student who wants to borrow money. Do you give money to students?
No, we do not. You have to be over the age of 18. And in fact, I think I would make a recommendation to the student that you shouldn't borrow unless you have a way to repay.
That means an income.
Exactly, right? Or an investment. And for many people as students, you're still in a stage of your life where you're investing and learning. You shouldn't really be engaged in,
I think
in trading.
His school fees, it's the parents who should worry about his fees, or guardian.
Correct.
Not
Correct.
him.
Yes.
Okay,
Correct.
But you can advise them to borrow from Tala if they have to. DLAC, I think there's a question there in terms of the CI, you call them the CIS?
Yes, Tatua Center. So Tatua Center is, the best way to approach them is go to Tatua Center, TATUACENTRE.co.ke, and make your complaint there, and then somebody will follow up.
Okay.
And that they're supported by the central bank, so that's a credible institution. Yes.
Okay. Someone was asking if, so let's say I report them. Does that mean that I don't have to pay the loan that I owe them?
No, you have to pay the loan that you owe them. But you can complain about the illegal, breach of contract, the breach of the DPA 2019. If somebody calls you and you didn't give them your details,
yes,
that is illegal. Stop.
Okay.
Yeah.
And can I be paid for them disturbing
If
me?
you go to the court of law, you can actually sue. There's actually a case that is being put out this month.
Okay.
And we are waiting to see how that will go. Yeah.
All right. Now, in terms of the guys who want to borrow money, and they're saying that the terms, if I do read the terms and conditions, and chances are I don't like what I see, so that means I don't borrow the money.
Yes.
Correct. It's the, I think the principle of contract, there has to be sort of willing buyer, willing seller, right, so to speak. You are buying capital, we are selling capital. We present the terms. If it doesn't fit you, please feel free to walk away.
Yeah.
It is not a must, so to speak.
There's someone else who's asked in terms of investment. They have this project they've been doing, I think, for 3 years. I don't know how you can assist them because you said your work is to just lend money, and you're working with institutions that have the muscle and the people who understand the risks.
Yeah.
But probably you can just answer him on that one.
That's a tough one without knowing too much detail about the business. But I'd say that there are numerous resources, especially for entrepreneurs who are looking for capital. You might be eligible for some government funds that exist. I would strongly advise against borrowing money, especially if you're starting a business. You don't have predictability of cash flow. So if you go and take a loan for a fixed time frame, you don't know if your business will work or not. So I'd strongly advise against that. And many times actually look as close to your family and friends and their network. For many of us who are entrepreneurs or have been entrepreneurs, that's how we started.
Yeah.
We had to take money from family and friends who became investors. They gave us cash, they either they became shareholders or debt holders. And that's how we built our businesses. So before going to a stranger, go to the people you know who are willing to take a risk with you.
Yeah, not Tala. Okay.
Yes.
Mr. Butiso, there's the question where people always ask in terms of, so I've borrowed money and I'm unable to pay because of, various, reasons. So what happens? Because the people who've defaulted for over years, what does that mean for business owners such as yourselves?
Well, the first thing that I want to say is that we've got the CRB framework, which is the Credit Reference Bureau. What happens here is that the way you perform when you take a loan, and our performance is good performance and bad performance is recorded. And so if you don't pay a loan for a long time, it is likely that it will be recorded on the bureau that you have a non-performing loan. Means that you're not paying.
Yes.
Right? So what the advice I'd give that person is, the first thing when you're about to default, right, is call the lender. Reach out to them. Tell them the situation. Tell them you're having problems here. Tell them you want an extension. And be frank and as open as possible, because what you're doing is you're reducing the cost to the lender for chasing you.
Yes.
Right? And the moment you do that, the lender loves you. Right? We really like customers who are open and honest with us. So that's the first thing I tell them. The second thing is, by the time you're going to see the lender, ensure you have an idea of how you're going to pay that loan. Because if you come and just say, I need help, it's very difficult for us to start giving you many options. But if you come and say, if you give me 3 months and you reduce this,
I'll sort you out.
I'll sort you out, then we can consider it. I'm not saying it will be a guarantee. It's usually a negotiation. I will now say, you can't try for 2 months, and back and forth. And so those are the two main things I'll tell anyone who's not paid to do. And then I'll add, there is a consequence of not having, switching your record from non-performing to performing. And I'll tell you why. The current CRB system in Kenya is number 4 in the world.
Okay.
Number 4, right? And if you think about it, we have 200 countries. So number 4 means we're pretty high up there. And what the CRB system is going to be eventually is going to be the trust meter. So how well can you be trusted? So it won't just be for loans. It will soon be for rent. If you want to live in a nice place, you want to tell the landlord, I'm a credible person. They'll say, show us your CRB. If you want to get a nice job, right? You want to work at these big companies, you want to work for us, we'll say, show us your CRB. Yeah, what kind of human are you? And in a place like Kenya, which is a very low trust society, the CRB is going to improve that trust, and all business people can now make long-term decisions, and it means we'll all make more money.
What are some of the bad behaviors you've gotten from borrowers? Because I have heard of people who borrow money. After they're done using it, they change their SIM card. Na wanasema, hiyo SIM card iko na madeni mingi sana. Wacha ni deal na namba mpya. Like, what are some of the very bad scenarios you've had from borrowers?
The worst scenario wasn't when I was in digital lending. It's when I was in what we call logbook lending. Okay. And we had given out a loan. And what we used to do is we put a tracker, and then we put
tracker in the car.
The tracker in the car, and we register the logbook. And we found that this person had cut the car up and sold the car for spare parts. And we found the car in Nakuru.
What?
Yeah.
So he
left the tracker, and he left the tracker in a part of the car. So we were looking for the car, and he left the tracker.
Just found the spare part.
Yeah. So we just found that little spare part with the tracker. And I mean, it was almost like he had left a note. To so those are some of the bad behaviors, right? And that's the problem with lending. It's always assumed because we are lenders, we have boatloads of money sitting behind us. But the truth is we're also in business. It's just that our business is we sell money. Yeah. Right? So the way people sell mboga or boda rider who sells a service is the same way we provide a business. So those are some of the bad behaviors we've seen. The description you gave me is called over-indebtedness. Okay. It is when a customer has too many loans and cannot pay it back. that is a problem that we've acknowledged as a team that we need to solve, because it's hurting Kenyans, and it's also the regulators' major, gripe with us. He's saying you guys are hurting Kenyans.
Yes.
What we need to tell people is that doesn't help us either. When people have too many loans, it means you can't pay us back. It means we go into loss. So we're actually working on various solutions and interventions with all the stakeholders, not just the digital lenders, to make sure that in the future, Kenyans don't get over-indebted. We catch it in time.
There are people who borrow from Tala to pay branch, to pay God knows which other app, and it's a long chain.
Yes.
By the time you're done, 12 months, now you're back at Tala to borrow Tala to pay.
Yes.
So
and there are even some that are worse, where you got 10,000 bob from everyone, and your salary is 10,000. Now you have 100,000, and you can never pay it back, even if you imagine. Right? And that's a problem. That's a very serious problem. Yeah.
So someone has borrowed from 10 apps.
Yes.
So now what happens in that situation? Do you forgive this guy? Do you make him chonga viazi? Like, what happens now?
So the solution there is education, right? Because what we need to do is we need to do financial literacy awareness. We need to tell these people that if you take 10 loans and you're unable to pay it back, there will be 10 records in the CRB that will show you're non-performing. If you're a young person, you're still in university, you're going to go look for that first job, right? The first thing they're going to do from 2021 onwards is they're going to ask you, as part of the degree certificate, what's your CRB? If they see you've taken 10 loans, right, it's going to be an issue. So we need to educate people on the consequence of default and what a loan is for. I love that Ivan said we give loans for value addition. We give loans to people who have a cash flow. You have a business, you have a salary, so that you can be able to pay your loan back from that cash flow.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now, back to you. In regards to people borrowing money, unfortunately, in an event, someone dies. Now, what happens? Or they relocate to the States and leave the SIM card here.
Let's start with the first one. If in the unfortunate event of the death of a borrower, the family members can actually go ahead and contact our customer service, and then we'll be able to write off and forgive the loan. It's not a debt inheritance that we're trying to put.
Also, you won't start calling the wife like, now your husband, Yabana.
Nah, absolutely.
He has our 30 Gs.
Never. And we may ask for some proof just in case you're pretending you're dead. We need to first ensure that there's nothing there.
Okay.
In the event that you leave the country, well, that's another form of willful default. And at some point in time, of course, we'll continue to try and collect, but there comes a point in time where we will have to make the difficult decision to write off. Effectively forgive the loan.
Yeah.
And that comes at a detriment, because when we do that, it means that there's less capital available for those who are actually repaying their loans, right? And maybe it even increases the perceived riskiness of the market, and it'll be reflected in higher pricing for everyone. So it's one of those that you win at the expense of everyone else.
What? Yeah, the guys will just take that loan and then cross over the border to Uganda and then say, deuces.
Yeah.
When they come back, itakuwa shida.
Kuna watu wameenda US na watairudi. Unachezea wa Kenya. Let's take a look at some of your feedback in regards to what we asked you earlier, and here we go. Morning, Bowie. Please ask for me if it is possible to owe a lending app 10 times what I borrowed. I borrowed 700, but nadai was 7,310. Ken from Eldoret. Hey. Morning, guys. Aki mimi niko na deni ya Tala na hanipati usingizi. Hainipati usingizi. My question is, can I be paying hata kama ni 100 bob hadi nimalize? Because for now, I am jobless. Okay, good question. Well, we do borrow from you guys, but then again, you don't give us much time as we need to repay our loan. Can you adjust your repayment period? Okay. Hey, Movie and the team, I have had Tala for 2 years now, and I've never been granted a loan, even now, despite not being blacklisted by CRB. What might be the issue, kindly? All right. So let's start with the last one.
All right. 2
years, he has had the app. Hey, ato uchoki. Delete it then. He's not been able to get a loan. What's up with that scenario?
So let's kind of go back to how do we determine whether you can actually get a loan? We look at various types of data. So we'll look at information you provided in the questionnaire. We will look at information regarding your financial status, potentially. We will look at your network, etc. So, without disclosing how our models work, it means that there's a flag somewhere. And so I'll give you common things that we see.
Okay.
It could be that you write that my income is 1 million shillings a month in the form.
Okay.
Right? But then when you look at the data on your device, there's nothing to remotely show that your income is anywhere near that. It's,
okay.
Or maybe when we look at your application, we see that you have loans in multiple places. So there are many factors that actually come in which might flag and unfortunately prevent us.
Because this person says that they're not listed on any CRB platform.
But remember the situation we talked about where you have an individual borrowing from X to pay Y to pay Z. There are ways in which we can pick up that behavior. So you might actually be current with everyone, but we can tell what it is you're doing. Not to accuse that individual of that.
2 years.
Hey. So there are various reasons, and unfortunately, without knowing that specific case and going in, I can't quite tell what it is, but something has flagged.
Okay. Yeah. And for me to get a loan, I have to download the app. I can't just come to your offices and be like, yo, so this is me, give me 10 Gs.
I'll tell you actually an interesting fact. Since COVID, no one has worked in a physical office since March.
Oh,
yes,
at Tala.
At Tala.
So you guys are working from home?
Exactly. Tala is in your neighborhood. It's distributed. Yeah.
Can I apply for a job?
We can talk about that offline.
So I can work.
We can discuss that offline.
Mr. Mutiso, there's someone who said that they borrowed 700 bob. Now they are paying 7,310.
And that's what I was trying to say earlier.
Yeah.
The Digital Lenders Association of Kenya is trying, that's why we are there. We're trying to tell the public there are two types of lenders in this market because we are not regulated. There are those of us who abide by the code of conduct, and there are those of us trying to take advantage of you. There is no one in DLAC. Yeah? And if they want to check, members, go to dlak.co.ke because and check there and you'll see the lenders you can borrow from, and they'll never do those bad things to you. Because somebody who's trying to take 10 times from you, that's a thief. That's a bad person. That's opportunistic, right? And the fact that we are being lumped together is what really offends us.
Yeah.
Right? Because we are not the same. Us, we're here to help. We're here to empower. We're here to grow the economy. That person is, what's the word? Taking advantage of desperate people. Yeah. It's very wrong.
So, but how do they justify it getting to 7,000 from 700? Is it the interest? Is it the penalties? Is that money, giving back to more money?
As we said, it's a thief. A thief will find every way to manipulate the situation to maximize what they'll steal from you. So they're going to call it all manner of things. They'll call it fee. They'll call it interest. They'll call it late charge. They'll call it whatever. They can even call it movie charge. Yeah. Right. They're trying to steal from you. Yeah. And again, Tatua Center, right? Report them. Report them. Report them. Let the central bank know this person, this company is in a letter shida.
Yeah. Okay. Now, in terms of the borrowing itself, there's someone who said that the period of borrowing is kind of short. Yeah. I remember you mentioned something to do with 21 days going 30 forward. Days, yeah. What is the longest period you give someone?
So right now it is 30 days. We're running.
That's the longest?
Yes, right now.
So if I borrow 30 Gs, I need to pay it in 30 days?
Correct.
Okay.
So we've been running a number of tests that will see us actually introduce new products very soon. We're looking at 90 days, 120 days. Also, we realized that I think some of the standard 21 days, 30 days doesn't work for everyone. Maybe you even need less time, right? Maybe you need 24 hours, and maybe we should create a product that is even somewhat cheaper because it's only 24 hours. So you will see a lot of new products coming from Tala very soon, just to address some of these tenor issues, because we've seen that can actually be a reason for why people struggle to pay. Either it's too short, I borrowed too much, it's too long. I actually had the money to pay you, but I ended up putting it in use.
See, these guys need it in like 30 days. Let me just...
Exactly. So that is something we're working on. But even in the industry, most players, even though they might advertise, we do 12-month loans in digital finance, you'll find that it's very short term. Typically 30, 45 days.
Yeah. For other DLAC members, is it the same as Stella? Is it 30 days or is it more?
It's usually 30 days, but I want to just make a clarification. We have about 6 million customers we serve as an industry, and I think Tala has maybe 4 million of those 6 million customers. And most of those customers are actually informal sector entrepreneurs.
Okay, the Juakalis, as we like to call them.
Yes, and others, right? And so Amamamboga, for example, her trading cycle, which is basically the amount of time it takes from when she starts the process to create value to the point she extracts that value, which means basically anaanza marikiti, alafu the customer pays and then she receives her money, is usually a day. So you find a lot of our customers actually don't want longer tenor loans, they want shorter tenor loans, right? Because they want money they can take in the morning, wananunua nini nini, wanauza kwa market, wanarudisha pesa to the lender, and then they take their profit. And the good thing here is that the margins are actually pretty nice. Amamamboga is making between 40 to 200% on everything she sells.
Yeah.
Right? So anytime we give Amamamboga an extra 2,000, we've doubled her salo. I don't know if you're seeing that.
I'm seeing it.
We're able now to make her make another 200% on that 2,000.
So if you give her 2 Gs, she has 6 Gs at the end of the day.
Potentially.
Yes.
Potentially. And that is why our products are so powerful. And then there's a small contingent, because I said we have 6 million customers. I'd say 80% are those Boda Boda, Mamamboga, Juakali guys. We have a 20% that take the money now to supplement an expense. There's an emergency, and that's why those longer tenors now come in. That's why now you need somebody, say maybe somebody needed 30,000, as you said, as a shock. Somebody's sick, something has, a piece in the matatu or the Boda Boda is broken.
Yeah.
Now maybe that's where they need that 3-month period, because now they want to pay 10, 10, 10.
Yes.
Right? So those are our customers. Those are our main customers. And then you have another 1% or maybe 5% who are employees, right? So they already have something like that. And then we have the 0.5, I hope, who take our loans to run away with the money.
And then they switch SIM cards.
So the narrative is, talk to the Mamambogas, they love our products. Talk to the Boda Boda, they love our products. Talk to guys in Gikomba, they know our products. In fact, they know more than even us sometimes, because they know ukichukua hii Tuesday na hii Wednesday itafanya hivi. It's very interesting.
Pesa itarudi.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's look at some more feedback as well on our WhatsApp line. Hello, Movie. I have used Stella before, and there is a way they attach your number to a particular phone. So what happens if I borrowed with a particular phone, then I repaid the loan and sold the phone? Now, if I wish to take another loan, it doesn't allow me because my number is linked to the old phone. Okay. All right. Can the lenders close my account at my request in the event I no longer want to keep it? A problem I also have with some of them is that they lure you to getting bigger loans. I also fear losing my data. Okay. Hey, Movie, if I pay my loan and delete the loan app, do they delete my information or do they retain it? Hey, watu mko na maswali. So, Tala, if I do you link first of all my phone to a line?
That's actually correct.
So if I change my SIM card onto another phone, we have a problem?
Temporarily.
Okay.
So what you can actually do again is reach out to us, our customer service, in the app or via email, and they'll guide you on how to go ahead and now put your phone number on your new device. So that can be done. That's actually, it was an issue that we'd seen periodically, yeah.
So if I'm using this phone to borrow my line on this phone, this is now the device you guys recognize?
Exactly, yeah.
This is like my branch now?
So to speak. This is one of your unique identifiers. So you can say this phone number and this device is you.
All right.
And it's a security feature because you don't want your girlfriend or your daughter taking your phone and you taking another phone and putting all your details and then taking a loan on your name. Right? So it's a security feature for you, the customer.
Okay. And what about the data? Do you guys retain it? even if I delete the app. So I borrowed, you know, once and I'm done. It was an emergency at that particular time. I don't need you guys anymore. Will you keep my data?
The Data Protection Act is very clear, 7 years. The CRB Act is also very clear, 7 years. So if we've transacted, we have to keep that record for 7 years. Why? We have to do an audit.
Yeah.
If you made us money, we have to tell the taxman, Movie paid the loan on this date, here's proof. So we have to keep that data, right? The Data Protection Act allows for what they call portability and deletion, and there's a whole procedure that that should be followed.
Yeah.
And the data commissioner, who was recently appointed, will then give us how to do it. So what is not clear right now is how it should be done. So we are waiting for that guidance, and then we'll let customers know. But there are certain pieces of data that we must keep for 7 years, just because we're businesses.
Okay.
Yes.
For the cases of audit and all that.
Yes.
All right. Now, in terms of the networks that you work with, do you work with all networks, or kuna zenye tu mmesikizana nazo? Because I know a lot of guys receive their monies through M-Pesa. So is it just a relationship with Safaricom, or do you also deal with Airtel and I think Telkom, T-Cash or something? Yeah.
So what happens is, and I think Ivan could also answer this question, is we want to be where the customer is, right? So if the customer is on M-Pesa, we'll be there. If the customer is at T-Cash, we'll be there. You know, there's Android platform, for example, right? Even if you have another Play Store, if the customers are not there, we have to be on the Google platform. So the way we think about it is, where is the customer? How do we make it easier for the customer to access our services?
All right. Yeah. Thank you very much, guys. That was an awesome conversation. I hope for you at home, wale mkona malon tafadhali mlipe, you've heard. If you don't pay, then the rest of us can't borrow. Yeah. Thank you very much, Kevin. You've said, you know, we can reach out in case even someone from DLAC tukikosana naye, do we go to you or do we go to Tatua?
Go to dlak.co.ke first to check if they're DLAC member. If they're DLAC member, report them to DLAC, and then there's a whole process, and we'll eject them, or we'll listen to them, and we'll hear both sides. And then if they're not, you go to Tatua Center.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. As far as Starlet is concerned, do we have any loans coming up, Beya Gioni?
Stay tuned.
Beya curfew?
Stay tuned. Stay tuned. New products on the way for sure, 2021.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, guys. In case you'd like to reach out to any of them, let us know. We'll definitely put you in touch. Otherwise, it's been an absolutely amazing time having this conversation. Tomorrow is still another day to have another awesome discussion as well. Until that time, though, hasta la vista.